ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you, I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me, but that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made to fit. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gon' be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap, I thank the Lord for the day I was on 8th Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I crawled on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It's UPK until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jam. Shit, I needed help. But Twan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponent. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Dear God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster.
can tell from the way I walk, you know what's up. Walking in the light, they can't help but notice us.
All right. Shalom Israel. It's ISUPK. Office Kazakh Par, Friday night LASHAWAN QADASH class. With ISUPK start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohana, 1969. Where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribe of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. In fact, if you're not in ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, you're simply not in the truth. This is a Friday night LASHAWAN QADASH class where we are going to teach Hebrew, and we're going to show you some differences here, show you some differences in words from the Assyrian and the PALEO. Let you know that the LASHAWAN QADASH, the original LASHAWAN QADASH is actually in the PALEO. You know, we talk about this from week to week, and we have some other things to talk about also. But I want to get off to start to let people in class, people online to participate. It's like, there we go. It's like to participate. We have Daquan in class, a few other students in class. I try to write the names down so the young students can get their name, you know, become a trooper. Most High, willing, become a trooper, an officer in an ISUPK. And then, of course, the Akwaf, or the women, of course, the children also in class, they get their name, Hebrew name, after so many days, and you can be participating in class and you have your Hebrew name. Okay? And that's what we're doing here in class today. We're going to go over some where the original came from, so you'll understand a little bit about the Paleo, and of course this Assyrian language, and we'll show you how some of these. I think I even got one where the fake camps try to make up something in Shalom or something like that. I'm sorry, slightly, and they don't know what they're talking about. We'll explain that in a second. But let's explain something that I think one of the generals wanted the LASHAWAN QADASH class to go over to show you the vowel sounds. Is one of the vowels. Okay, we have two vowels in Hebrew. You know, Hebrew started out Paleo. You know, LASHAWAN QADASH means language of the holy, or holy language. We read Hebrew from right to left. From right to left. And then the next vowel sound, of course, is I. Now that's what we're going to concentrate on here today. It's not it. So when we say, say for instance, we say Yahweh Shemar Isle Atha, it's Isle. Like this. Because by knowing the vowels, Yahweh Shemar Isle Atha, okay? You know, Lord, bless you. In the name of Shah, Yahweh Shemar Al Atha, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. You know, in the name of Christ. Some people call him Jesus, but it's Christ. But when you say I'll, you want to say I'll. You want to say I, not ill, but I'll. Okay? That's important. That's one thing when we're saying when we say in our when the women say Yahweh Shemar Al Atha, that's what they want to say. Yahweh Shemar Al Atha, not Yahweh Shemar Ilatha. It's not it. And you know, in the English language, you have like a I here, and then a long I. We want to pronounce that long I. And sometimes they symbolize the English language like that, and of course up here like that for the short sound, I. That I sound is a no-no in the Hebrew language. It's not it. It's I'll. And that's where the Yiddish people get their enunciation and pronunciation to pronounce their Assyrian. And we'll go over that in a second here. That's where some of the fake keps mess up. They don't even understand what's going on with some of the words. And we'll go over that word shalom. We'll go over here in a second here. They have we'll take, this is ka, of course, so a lot of people want to make it a little heavier. But as you check in the class, we'll let you know that Hebrew has a vowels, and that's what these are. These are vowel sounds. Okay? Those are the vowels. We're going to have two of them, ah and I. And so you're going to use them on every instance. And here, there's only one in the actual characters. We have characters. And of course the characters, I kind of go this every week so people jumping in from time to time before we move on to something else, they'll understand that that ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka. Those are characters, and they just happen to have a sound and they have a look. They look like something. Of course, this is the English look of them, but we're going to show you what they look like in Paleo Hebrew, and of course we're going to show you in Assyrian, because I wanted to concentrate on Paleo last week. We'll concentrate on Paleo again, but we'll show you also what the Assyrian is that we had in captivity, and that's what this is about. So when we say Abagada, Ha Wazaka, Ta Ya Kala, Ma Nasa I. That's the I right here. That I right there. You don't say it. So women, make sure you understand, and even some of our brothers, you know, just in case, when the women say Yahweh Shemar Al Atha Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Lord bless over. They're asking a blessing over their men. Yahweh Shemar Al Shah. Okay? Bashim Yahushua. It's ayal. It's not it. No short I there. It's the long I. Ayal. You remember when we were back in elementary school, back in junior high school, and high school, over and over again. And I know sometimes we forget it sometimes. I know I do too. But it's the Howard Shamar Alathah. Of course, if you look at the, there's only one occurrence in our characters where it occurred. That's I. You have words like that. Okay? You'll have words, and I'll is one of them. You'll have characters like that. You'll have understandings like that in the language. Okay? And of course, I wanted to bring that out because one of the generals told us to bring it out in our class, and that's what I did. That's Yahweh Shemar, Isle of Thought. And of course we have Ah. The Ah is, you notice in every last one of these characters has an A. And that A is actually pronounced Ah. Ah. Now, it's just the backwards opposite. In the English language, the A, Ah, and if you say A or A is long, a long sound, symbolized like, long line over the A. But in the English language, of course, we got to explain the English because we speak English, so you'll know. So I'm trying to show you how paleo sounds in the English, so you'll understand how I want it in the Hebrew. You have Ah. So Ah there is actually a short sound. That's why you put this little U here. Not to confuse with connectors there. I'm going to get that off your mind here. But that's, if you go back to your elementary school, your junior high, and your high schools in this captivity right here that we're in. Ah. That's what that sounds like. It's Ah. Ah, ba, ga, ah, 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 ah. It's a short sound. Not an A. It's not an A. You don't say A, bay, gay, day, ways, Oh, wow. Let me put a za right here. Every once in a while, I go a little overboard there. Forget to do that one. Okay, there you go. All right. Abagadaza. Not, and so you're using this short sound, the ah. Okay. So all practical purpose, it'll sound like this. It'll have that short sound. That's just English, just trying to show you. That's not Hebrew. It's just showing you how the Hebrew sounds in the English language. You can understand that. Sloppy for a second. Let's see. Have Sister Adrian in class also. Now she's saying it right there, even what she's saying. Yahweh Shema Alatah, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Lord bless you and watch over you. Okay? All right? So we kind of got to understand that a little bit. Understand it. I'll write it here now, and let's kind of concentrate on that for a second. Let's see. We got Adrian, before we move on to other things here. All right. Okay. Now, some of these faith camps, we'll just get right into it. They have a word called Shalawam. Have no idea what that means. I think it's an A in there. They go around saying Shalawam. Don't pay no attention to them. But what they probably are trying to say, I believe, is Shalom. They just simply don't understand. They don't understand that the word is actually Shalom in Hebrew. You don't go around saying, in ISUPK, we understand our Paleo Hebrew. It has connectors. That's very important. This word right here, Shalom, I researched and they basically forgot that they don't use their connectors right in this word. Plus, they get it from Yiddish, which actually adds another character. I think it spells like this. Sha, la, wa. think it's Shalom. Sloppy, right here. Shalom. Sloppy, there you go. Shalom. They add another character in here. That's that one right there. Okay? They add another character in there. The Shalom. They add another character in there from the Yiddish, which is a no-no. We'll put a big X across there. We don't do that here in ISUPK because it's not correct. The word is spelled like this. When you research, if you go and you research it, it's Sha, and then you have La, less like that, and you have Ma. Oops, sorry about that. Sha-la, just like that. Shalom. They got sha-la-wa. They put that in there, like this. How they put this? This, of course, this is Assyrian. That's where they get it from. You know, they add another one in there. Where was it? Oh, right here, right here. Right there. The Syrian, we'll show you that in a second here. It'll look like, let's kind of get here. The wa in Hebrew is like this. And of course, the Syrian looks like that. And that's what they get there. They add that in there because the Hebrews speak Yiddish and they can't pronounce or enunciate our words correctly. So they got to say, shalom. They say it funny. And then they add this other character in there accidentally or because they can't speak the language. However you want to put it, you put a big X on it. Right there. Let's put a little, let's throw an arrow right to it. That's what they're doing. Adding that in. Shalom. And the word is actually shalom. The word actually means peace. This means nothing. Okay? So anybody out there, if you fake Israelite groups out there, you know, you're our brothers and sisters, but get back to the ISUPK under command of Juliana, where you came from anyway. Shalom won't do. The word is shalom. Shalom. Now let's get some connectors with this. Okay? Let's get some sha right here. Lam. So we have a independent connector. Sha by itself. Right here. Right there. And of course, lam has to be joined together, not shalom. What am I saying shalom? Because they're trying to take after their Yiddish people. See, when you hang around the wrong crowd, this is what you come up with. This is what you come up with, these shalom actions. You come up with words that don't even, that's not even the English language. They're using the Assyrian. That's why it's a bastard language. That's why we have to show you what the Yiddish is saying simply because they got it from the PALEO. Okay, there are a lot of things that we have written in Yiddish and we are required to understand. Written in Assyrian, I'm sorry. In Assyrian, we adopted that in our tongue. Back up. The Assyrian took our tongue and adapted it with our looks over here, abagada, but they made it sound different. And then making it sound different, you come up with words like this. And they probably pronounce it shalom, and they use these dots and eyes, and I picked that up. We'll talk about that another week. Just got enough time to go through all of that necessarily. But I picked up on these fake camps. When they say shalom, that's actually what they're doing. They added another wa, which is fake. Okay? So that's the understanding on it. So you'll understand how that works. You'll understand that that's not how it's supposed to be pronounced. And we also say to Trooper Sean, if you hear us out there, the brother had a child, Most High in Christ. Another seed of Israel. I think Adawan, Officer Natazah said there'll be another child was born to us in the camp of Israel that will eat no pork. Most High in Christ, clap it up on that. He'll eat no place, no pork. Because true Pashan is going to take care of him, especially when he becomes an officer, and he's going to make require his son to keep the laws of the Most High. And that's what we're doing here. So, let's see. Let's see who else was checked in the class here. Let's find out here. Adrian, right? The Kwan Most High Christ, right? Most High Christ, exactly right. That's a clap up for the. That's a big clap. I appreciate that. Clapping up for the brother Sean. You know. But anyway, getting back to the studies. Shalom came from adding this extra vowel. I mean, this extra character. That's what it's about. And I thought I'd say that. So to reiterate, let's go back. Let's say, ah is a short sound. Ah, that's why I put that up there. That's not required. I just did that to show you in English what it sounds like. Ah, and then the long A is A. We don't have A sounds. We have ah in Hebrew. That makes a difference. So you'll understand. So when you understand, when you say ah, ba, ga, da, you're saying ah all the time. You're saying, when you get to ah, you say I. Now this will help you. If you guys write this stuff down, you'll begin to understand and how to write Hebrew correctly. If you can write it correctly with 2 vowels, 22 characters, then you'll understand. You'll be on your way to understanding how it sounds, and then when you see a word, you'll be able to pick it apart. But whatever you do, don't adapt this filthy word shalom. Commander General Yohana commands that we say shalom because we're following after the Bible, and that makes sense. He's right. Since 1969, we found out who we are. The word is shalom. Okay? There it is, right there. So let's move on to some more things right here. Just want you to understand. We're going to move on to some more things. I like to break the word down, some in class in Paleo Hebrew. Well, we'll go over it a little bit so we can understand, because the more you do this, the better off you are in understanding. When you get to understand Hebrew, you go to ah, and then ba, like this, ga, you have da, okay, you have ha, like that. Then you have wa, We'll do the Assyrian up under in a second here. I'm just trying to concentrate on the Paleo real quick here so you'll understand. We have za, we have ka, like this. Okay, we have a ta, looks like that, like a shield. Okay, for all you looking out there, this looks like a ladder, like my name, Ka-za. And see, the more you memorize these, the better off you'll understand words. Ka. Then you have a ya, look like a lazy Z right there. Then you have a ka, looks like a backwards C. I've seen it done I've seen it done like this also, like that. I've seen it done like that too, but for right now, we'll say ka, and then we'll say la. Okay? Just like that, copy it in your notes, al-ba-ga-da, hawa, zaka, taya, kala. And that's how it is. To reiterate again, looks like a sideways A and upside down B, sort of like a ga, has no real rhyme to what it looks like. So like maybe a golf club just thrown in there, I guess. A da, triangle, where we get the word da-wa-da. And we'll go over that word here in a second. A ha, a cone, wa, looks like a tuning fork, a za, z. Ka, ladder, ta, shield, Z, looks like a Z with a kickstand on it, or sideways, however you want to look at it. A C with a ka, looks like a C with the 2 prongs out of it, and then the la, okay? Then we'll get to the ma over here. Going a little fast here. Ma, then we have na, then we have sa. Okay, then we have ah, we have pa, Pa, then we have Tazah. And I'm sort of doing these from memory because that's the way it goes. That's the way love goes when you do these all the time, you know. Tazah. Then you have Kwa. Okay, then you have a backwards 4, like a popsicle over here for Kwa. Tazah looks like a T and a Zah, just like that. Then you have I, looks like a circle over here. Of course, you have Pa, looks like some sort of lazy J. Then you have the M, look like a M with the hook on it, the N with the hook on it, and like a Psi, looks like a honeycomb, I guess, a honeycomb stick or whatever. Then you have Sha, just looks like this W right here, and then you have a laid down cross for Tha. Okay, and that's just go for memory. If you remember that much of it, then you're good to go. So Malakwa, we have Malakwa, we have Naquam, have some officers, I believe. But I appreciate you tuning in to class. But hope you guys understand, like we talked about before. We have 22 characters in Hebrew and 2 vowels. And commanding, I think it's one of the Jones, I think it was Maya. I can't remember if it's him or one of the others. But anyway, one of the Jones said that this I sounds like an I, not the I. When you're saying I'll, Yahweh Shemar, I'll, I, long I. Yahweh Shemar, Alatha, by Shem, Yahweh Shai. That's what the sisters say. Then when we salute the sisters, let's make sure we bring that I out and I. Not I and any other sound. That's I. And when you say Shalom, then we know you're not in the ISUPK. That means you ain't in the truth, because that's not even a word. They borrowed that wa and they put it in there, and that's Yiddish, and they don't know what they're doing. That's why they don't need to be teaching, period. Talking about Shalom. The word is Shalom. It means peace. Okay? Now, where are we? The Ta, the Shills, sort of a C with the prongs of the L over here, La. Okay? The mob, like an M, really. An N, upside down N again. Then we have like a honeycomb stick or something. Then O is the I, as in aisle. The Pa, the Tazah, the Kwa looks like a popsicle stick. The Ra like a 4. The Sha looks like a W. Trying to give you some understandings in English how it looks. And the Tha looks like a laid down cross. Okay? So let's move on real quick. Let's go to some Assyrian here. Now, Assyrian is a language or a tongue that when they had us in captivity in Assyria, okay, they took our understanding that the Most High gave us of a pure language, of Paleo Hebrew. And they said, okay, all right, we want it to look like this. That's what they said. They wanted to look like this. They wanted to look like that because that's how their language looked. So they call that a ah. But you know, they can't speak like us. They can't go around speaking like us because even though you learn slightly, even though you learn a language, doesn't mean you can speak it well. You're going to have some enunciation problem, and that's where you get shalom from. Like the Yiddish people, they go around, I can't even pronounce it the way they do it, but the fake camps go around saying shalom. That ain't right. The word is shalom. So they're just like that. They added the wa in there. We'll show you this wa here again in Assyrian. The ba looks like this. So like a starting of a hangman, I guess. And then you have the Gal like a little running man, you know. Something like that. And of course, where was that? This is Assyrian here. I'm writing down on this bottom line here. Then you have a Da. Da looks like a T, only with 2/3 of it off to the end over there. Of course, you have this is one of the more popular right there. You use that a lot. Ha, and then of course, you know, that's it. We're talking Assyrian, of course, you know, and then of course the infamous wa, where they get the messed up extra vowel in shalom. That's what it is. That's how they mess up. That's That's why the fake camps need to be cut off. Because they don't know how to teach this language. Under Commander General Yohanan, ISUPK, we know the difference between shalom and shalom. We teaching you right here. Educate. We don't go around just grabbing a word and desecrating it. We're taught here in ISUPK. You get men trained, like myself, and like other men in the LASHAWAN QADASH. And not brag, it's just, those are the facts. We have good teachers. They teach you how these words sound. They teach you how to break them down properly. They teach you the difference between Assyrian and PALEO. And that's what we're doing. You don't use wa in shalom. Jureda, you don't use this word like this. I'll do it again over here. Sha, la, they put this. They put that in there, and then of course they put the M over here. That's not supposed to be there. The Yiddish put it there when they were trying to read the Assyrian of our bastardized language they adopted. You got so many wrongs going on there with that. Shalom. That trick they're trying to say shalom. I can't say it. It's likely. But it's shalom. That simple. In other words, let's put it in black. I don't even want to put it in blue. I don't want no mistake about it. I want to put a line through that. That's what they think they do it. I'll do it again over here. It's shalom. Like that. Of course, you have the connector here, and then join the lam together. There you go. Shalom. Shalom. Okay? All right, let's finish writing down here. We have a za, hawa, za. We have to make sure that that we put it, that we understand the Syrian like that, I believe. Yeah, sort of like a lay down T. We have to understand the Syrian because that's the language we repeat in captivity, and of course these perpetrators over there are using the Syrian. They don't dare touch our holy language. Couldn't speak it if they wanted to. The Most High set it up that way. He knows what he's doing. He's a genius, okay? And then of course you have ka. Let's use this other color here. Slocky. We have ka like this. Like that. Okay? Alright, then we'll have a ta. Well, the Syrian looks like this. Sort of like that. There's a few ways to make that look. I've seen it. Then you have a little teardrop right here. That's what it looks like. When we read the Tanakh on the Sabbath, we read a lot out of the Syrian. Of course, we can read it in either one of these. But the Tanakh is written. A lot of times it's written in this language here because most people of this world don't even have our language written in here. I have a copy of it, of the Bible, the Tanakh, of course, written in the pure language. Okay? All right, then we have Ka. Over here in Assyrian, looks like this. Just take that little circle out here. Now, it's the first, I hate when I do this. We'll go down here a little bit. Okay, Fa. And else we'll have Sha over here, Slop. The first row that you get to for Ka is the first. We'll do it in green. This is the first holy language sound character. I'm sorry, not holy language. It's the first Assyrian character that you get to that actually have what we call an ending character. Sort of looks like this. Okay? Let's lock you for a second. Let's lock you. Azariah. All right. Got an Azariah? Okay. All right. Salaki. Salaki. Okay. When you get to this character here, it's called an ending character. When you see that character in Assyrian occurring on the end of a word in Assyrian language, then you'll know. And I'll give you an example right here. We got one right here. All right here. LASHAWAN. I'll write it real neat there. Just like that. Looks sort of like that. When you say LASHAWAN, because it occurs at the end, right here, I'll even mark this in green. You have to use the ending character for it. You know, if it don't occur in the end, of course you can use the regular character right here, that little C there. But because it occurs at the end, like LASHAWAN, that end, it looks like this. Or like that. Hope you guys can see that real well. I kind of write it a little thicker there. There, just like that. That's called an ending character. Let's get this Shalom mess off of here. These makes me angry sometimes to see these. We go through all the trouble to teach Assyrian as a bastard language, and we got some people acting like bastards out there. You can say no names, but you know, that's don't even know how to sit up there and be taught in the ISUPK properly instead of saying some sort of shalom. You know, your word is shalom. At least know how to say peace. Shalom. Okay? LASHAWAN, QADASH, where was I at? What was I going to do? LASHAWAN. Okay, yeah. There we go. So we have the word. Anyway, I'm going to come back to it in a second here. And then we have L, of course. It'll look like sort of like this. Border like this. Okay? Like that. In Assyrian. Of course, the Assyrian language, you know, it has, that's what I want to say. Ending characters. The Assyrian language, well, what we call ending, I said it before, I just want to write it down. Ending characters. I'll write it down so your mind can relate to the pictures that I'm writing up here. Okay? Ending characters. Feel free to ask questions in class. You know, that's what we're here for. And like I said, I appreciate you understanding. And that's like I say. Feel free to ask questions in class so you get a better understanding. We'll have Tatina Parker. Tatina Parker. Okay, I guess that's Officer Natazav's rib here. Okay. Have her in class. We'll write her name down. Glad to have you, Tatina. Okay. Parker. Alright. We have what we call ending characters. Write that a little neater right there. And the ending characters, we have 5 of them. The first one we get to is this character right here on Ka. Okay? That's the first one we get to. I'm going to move this style. I don't want you guys to confuse that with anything. That's sort of like the last character right here. Tha. Okay. The first one you get to is this one. Okay, that's one of them. All right? So we'll move on. All right? Now let's go. The ending characters, of course. Let's get to Assyrian right here for the M. It looks like looks like this. I'll try to write it. Sort of looks like this. It looks like some sort of glorious N or something. I don't know. Sort of looks like that. Okay. And of course, we'll write the N here, right there for the N, and of course. They have ending characters also, okay? There are 2 of them right here. They occur. When you say ma and na, we're putting the ma, and of course we're always putting the ah behind it. That ah, remember that ah? That first ah. That first A sound is actually an ah. We put that quiet over here. That sound right here. We put that sound here. Half people in class. Glad to have you ladies. Glad to have you gentlemen. We're putting this sound here, and that looks like that end looks like a square. Just like this. Okay? Just like that. That's what it looks like. Shalom our Christ. Okay. Shalom. I have Officer Aban bring his family in for class. And then, of course, to the end, it looks like a, oh, shoot, got the wrong one here. Sorry, locked it. Wrote the wrong one. It looks like this. Locked it. It looks more like that. The end is more, the end's the one I want to get to. It's over here. I have to bend it a little bit. So lock it to that. Sorry. There we go. Now, they look close to like. Kind of glad I got them mixed up right there. The end and the ka looks alike. You just have to turn it a little bit. One's 90 degrees and one looks like that. And that's where you get this end from. That's in. That's this one right here. There, okay? Lock. The ka looks like this in the Tanakh in Hebrew. And it's one of the ending characters. So the first one is the ka in green, the ending character. The second ending character is that in there. And the third one is this in there. Of course, you have, we'll erase the ending character right here. Okay? Now, we have the Assyrian M looks like that, and then of course, it looks sort of like an N, and then of course the N, the regular N, looks like I don't know, it looks like a backwards L with a stem on it, for that matter. And then of course you have the 7 that's turned a little bit. That is actually the ending character for N. That's where you get LASHAWAN right there. That's that ending character. We're talking Assyrian. So you'll understand the difference. Guys, give you a chance to write that down for understanding. Okay? Then we have, of course, the sa. We use this a lot. Looks like some sort of U with a little vision up top there. It don't have an ending character. I wrote it in the wrong color, but it doesn't have an ending character. It doesn't have an ending character. Sloppy. There we go. But well, let's get it written down in the proper color so you can, when you guys looking at it, you guys get a better understanding, just like that. Okay? Looks sort of like that. Okay, and it's a knock. Like a shield with a little stem on it. Then the eye looks like this. Okay. This is Assyrian I'm writing down here on the second row. And then the pa, which is going to have an ending character, but first we've got to write the regular characters, like this, okay? Like that. An ending character for this pa, which is the 1, 2, 3, this will be the fourth one, okay? It'll be the fourth ending character. It'll look just like this. It'll look just like the first, only be longer, really. That's all it is. I guess they ran out of ideas, so they just made it look like the P right here. But it's important to understand that, so you'll understand what the characters look like. That's sort of important. It's actually really important. Of course, and then we have the tazah. Getting into this right here, tazah. Right there. Okay. Sort of like that. Of course, we have the qua, and of course, before we do that, the tazah actually has an ending character too. So that'll be the last one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the tazah will be the last ending character. When you find this at the end of a sentence, like tazah, like for instance, katazah, have Captain Katazah, then you would say that. I'll illustrate it here. Illustrate it here. It looks like that. Okay. All right. That's get you to understand it. I mean, it's we have a ratazah. There's a whole lot of words that we can use for that. Let's use Aratazah. Okay? Before we move on to this Q here, that's right there. Let's say Aratazah. Who listening can tell me what Aratazah means before I move on? I'll write it out. I'll be writing it out while you're telling you. I want y'all to type in the chat what Aratazah means. Aratazah. Okay? Okay? Put it in the chat. Tell me what Aratazah means. All right? Tell me what Aratazah means. All right? Tell me what it means. Who in the chat can tell me what that means? Aratazah. And of course, it's going to look like this. In the Assyrian, it's going to look like ah right here. That's an ah sound. And it looks like that. And then we have ra. Well, we haven't written ra yet, but I'll write it here. Running out of room. Lock it. Right over there. Okay, so lock it for that. Let's write R looks like this. Who can tell me what Aratazah means in the chat? Okay? Anybody can tell me what Aratazah means? Ra. Like this. It looks like a little curl up to the top. Now don't mistake it for the ka here, or this laid back 7 that's turned on the side. It has more of a big, thick curl, and then along right there, and then it looks like that 7, but only it's got more of a wiggly kind of curl up there. Ra, and then we do something special here. And for Tazah, we use this ending character right there. So let's see who's written in the chat what Aratazah actually means before I give it away here. We've gone over this word before. Who can tell me what that means? Okay? Tell me what that word means. Aratazah. Give you a few more seconds here. We'll give you a few more seconds right there. Yeah. Okay. You guys got it? Well, anyway. Let's see. There's right here. We'll say it means earth. Okay? Aratazah actually means earth. We use that word a lot because that's what it's saying. Not world, it means earth. Okay? Let you guys write that. And the most important thing is that in Hebrew, when you're writing in the PALEO, when you write in the Assyrian, when you write in the Assyrian, you want to make sure that you don't you want to use the ending character for Tazah right here. Not this character. Not this one. Not that one. That would be wrong if you're using the Assyrian. The Assyrian wants this character right here. That's called an ending character because that's the ending character for Tazah. There it is right there. Okay? So Aratazah, it means earth. Let's see if we got it right over here. Earth, Tatiana Parker, great. Get that sister a hand. Let's clap it up, guys. That sister got it right. Off the Natazah's rib, she said earth. Well, that's what it means. The earth, Ba'aratazah, or Haratazah. Okay, of the earth. Okay, you can put we'll get into, we may get into this class. We may get into what you can put in front of here to say the earth, in the earth. You know, like when we say the Lord's Prayer, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Kingdom come on earth. We'll show you what goes in front of that. Maybe we may have a little time here. Okay, so Aratazah actually means earth, and it's spelled like this. Write this in your notes. Ra, and then the long Y stem there, because the Tazah has an ending character. There's your ending character. That's an A sound, that's a Ra sound, and the Tazah. Okay? Aratazah. Watch the stuff there. Okay? So it means earth. Alright? Very good, sister. I know some of the brothers know. You like some of the sisters, so I understand. And then, of course, we have, let's get into shop. What does it look like in Assyrian? Ironically, it looks almost like this. When they stole our language, I guess they ran out of characters again, and so they said like this. Sort of like that. Looks like that. Like a W, like a, I don't know, like a chicken scratch W. You know? And then, of course, Tha looks just like, you know, they would, in part, the Syrian language does a lot of these little things here. Look like a golf club, one of these. But that's what the Tha looks like in Assyrian, okay? Of course, the Paleo is the one on top. You guys give you a chance to write that down, and we'll move on to something else here. Give you a few seconds here. Write that down. Just know that the we're going to write a sentence down here, and we're going to use some understanding of the Hebrew. We'll let you guys write that down here in a second here, so you can see how this applies, how Hebrew actually applies, why we understand the Paleo Hebrew is a pure language, why we understand that the Paleo is the adaptation with all these characters, all of the sounds here. It's the mother from where they get the Assyrian from. You know, I guess they couldn't stand to look at us, so they changed our language too. They had us in captivity. And we'll talk about that. Well, we should have been separated from them. And but we're in captivity, so we have to understand what went on during our captivity and our language in Assyrian. Okay? It's not the pure language, but we have to teach that. All right? The Paleo is the pure language. It uses connectors, does not use ending characters. So, let's keep it going here. Let's, hope you guys got that written down. Let's go move on to something else here. In Assyrian. That's like a lesson that you'll learn and study every single day. When you want to know this language, because once you know this, the words are innumerable to understand. Okay? You can learn any word you want, but you must, what you would call your ABCs, your characters. You have to learn these characters first. If you don't know the characters, it'll be hard to read them, it'll be hard to write them. That's why you have to know. And Assyrian, you know, you got to learn those two also, because the Tanakh sometimes spits out a bunch of Assyrian. You have to learn how to read Assyrian also. Okay? So let's get into some words here. We're already talking about the fake shalom. You know, we don't want to even talk about that no more. In other words, that was the oppressor. That's what he did. He took our language, bastardized it, made it look a certain way. So I like to use it's been a while since I used this one. Envy not the oppressor. So don't envy him for the things that he's done. You know, all we have to do is enjoy our holy language. And I think you find that in, could you get that for me, officer? If you don't mind, sir, Proverbs 3 and 31. When it talks about envy not the oppressor. If you could for me, sir. Baba Kushah. No, come. It's called, our oppressor, I'll write a few lines to this to show you. Our oppressor would love for you to just envy him and cater to him and, you know, and enjoy his goods, his foods, his women, his clothing. We'll get into that in a second here. His voting, his garments, his religions, and this wicked Christian church out here. And that's part of the problem. What do you say, officer? Could you read it for me?
Come.
Come.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31.
Come.
Envy thou not thy oppressor,
Come.
and choose none of his ways.
That's right, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It says envy. Let's write it on the board, because we're going to get into some LASHAWAN QADASH here. So to help you understand things, we write it envy. Envy, not our what, sir?
Our oppressors.
Envy, not our oppressor. Okay? And choose none of his ways. Let me write that down a little bit neater. Okay, envy. Envy. Could you look up envy for me, sir?
Come.
Envy, not our, we got oppressor now. Oppressor. We'll write that sentence out a little bit. I don't want to do the whole thing, but I'll do a little bit of it. Make sure I spell it right here. I don't want to do all of it because we don't have time to go over all of these. There we go. Envy not our oppressor, okay? And we ain't going to choose none of his ways, not here in ISUPK. You see? Envy not our oppressor. We're going to write this down in Hebrew. Choose none of his ways. What does it say, sir? If you got it for me.
The definition of oppressor: a person or group that oppresses people.
Huh?
That was it.
Okay. And look up envy for me, sir, if you could. He oppresses people. That means he always got his hands on somebody, bringing us back, bringing us down. The oppressor. That's what he does. You know, treating us, beating us down in the streets. The word envy, if you could, for me, sir.
The definition of envy: a feeling or discomfort. A feeling of disconnected or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck.
Someone else's what, sir?
Someone else's possessions.
Someone else's possessions.
Qualities or luck.
Or qualities are their luck, right. See, the Most High say, because they've taken over, made us pick cotton, we didn't enjoy none of it. We didn't even enjoy our families, the Bible says in the curse. We're going to get into that, but the Bible says, don't envy this. Most High, Yahweh is going to come back and destroy this planet here in Babylon. He's going to turn us around and then we will be the head and on top. So the Most High say, don't envy him. You know, don't disconnect yourself from somebody else's possession. That would be covetousness. That would be, you know, you'll be coveting. The Most High said, now, you know, what do you not envy? Okay, let's break this word down here. Envy. That word right here, envy, is quana. Quana-ah. Quana-ah. Okay? Quana-ah. Quana-ah. La-ah. Everybody knows that not means la-ah. Okay? Our oppressor. We're going to use something here. We're going to use, we're going to say oppressors actually, we're going to say, I'm sorry, did it say, go back, sir, did it say envy not what, sir? Could you read that for me again?
Good.
Make sure I get that right.
Envy thou not the oppressors.
Oh, okay, I got our. Let's get it straight here. I'll get it straight on the board. Slide it, sir. Let's put the word the. There we go. Because I didn't want to get possessive. I had to get possessive adjective. Okay? Not, and then we have ha. Like when we say the earth, when we say ha-aratazah, the earth, that word is ha. And of course, the word for oppressor is nagash. Nagash. Give him plenty of space over here for his word. Nagash. And the Most High is trying to say, Quana'a, la'a, ha, nagash. That's what he's saying. Quana'a, la'a, ha. Let's spell this out so we can see what it sounds like. You know, And and let me say this to you. I didn't write this backwards because, you know, I'd have to write it from there. I guess I could have, but this, whatever we have written down here, just flip it. The Qana'ah should be over there. If I confuse you now, if you guys understand it, put a type of con or 1 in the chat. Let me know if I need to write that backwards. Because Hebrew is written from right to left, and I can. But let me know if you have a problem with that. Let me know. So Qana'ah. So we're going to use this. We're going to use the, let's use the paleo first. Let's use the paleo. Qua, right there, okay? Well, that's the paleo for understanding that word qua. That's why we wrote the characters down here so you'll be able to break these words down and understand. Because when I see qua, now I go look this word up and I say, oh, it means envy. That's how I use it, okay? All right? That's understood? Understood? Okay, let's use the end. Let's use na, right there, just like that. Then we use ah, like that. Now that's Paleo Hebrew, okay? Of course, Hebrew, Assyrian would be more like this. It looks sort of like that, qua, then we'll have na, like that, then we'll have ah, like this. Just like that. Now, we don't have any characters over here, so let's do the connectors. Okay, if y'all live notice what we got over there in the chat over there. Let's see. Got any questions over there, sir? Let's see. All right. Right there, that last one, I didn't see that.
It says, Salakia.
Huh? Let's see what somebody had over there. You could have focused up.
La'ah, two La'ah, sir.
La'ah?
Khan.
What are they saying?
They just said Salakia, La'ah, sir. That's all they said.
Excuse me, no?
Khan.
Okay, good. Okay, that's fine. Y'all do understand it then. So what if I write, in other words, if I say envy not the oppressor, meaning that's how we read it out of King James Version. When you're writing these things in Hebrew, you want to turn them around. Now I'll write this Hebrew, I'll translate it backwards here. Qua over here. Because I simply, writing it backwards would be kind of hard because the English language, that's how it's written from left to right. Hope you guys understand that. Now let's do some characters right here. If you're in the audience, characters have to go along with this. It'll be qua, okay, na, ah. We say na, and then we say ah. Now that's one way of writing that. Qua, na, ah. Because the one dead giveaway, yeah, that's right. Because the H is still there on the ah. It gets an independent sound. That's one dead giveaway. So the word la'ah over here, and there's been the characters, of course. La'ah, we have la, and then we have ah. Okay? It's one sound, and sometimes you can write it la'ah. Or sometimes you can write it on your connectors. In connectors in Hebrew, it's time to get to that lesson. Let's make sure we understand that. Connectors in Hebrew, right there, that symbol right there, it says that this is an independent sound. It holds its own water. It don't need nobody. It don't need nobody. It's independent. However, when you see this one, the U, it is a dependent connector. That means it can join something with it. Dependent sounds together, okay? That's what this is. That's why we here. Now, what we did together, we joined these two together. La, okay? We joined them together, and we could have done la and then ah like that, but it's not needed. It's one sound. You got to understand in Hebrew. You want to make things how they sound and what's needed. And it sounds la, because if I broke it up into la, they came back to you 5 seconds later and said ah, people would be wondering, what's wrong with that guy? La, what is he going to say something? So make one sound out of it. La. Okay, you can break it down just like that. That's how you approach that if it makes a sound. So the independent sounds on connectors, and these are called, like I said again, these are called connectors. Okay, connectors. All right, I think that's how you spell it. Connectors. If you see this, it look just like that. And of course, dependent. That's how you can join. They depend on each other. That's la. That sound la. Okay. Independent. Upside down U. Independent. Okay. So let's erase that off the board and move on to here. Let's go to the word ha. Ha is a sound on. It is a preposition. You can also use it, I think, as a what did I say? Oh, okay. It's a preposition for right now. Possessive adjective, we can use it for that. But for right now, we're using ha in front of here. So it's a preposition. It's prepping this word. The oppressor. Okay, because if I said our oppressor, I don't know if anybody there can tell me what our is in Hebrew. Is anybody there? They may, I don't know. I'll spell it for you, see if you can see. Matter of fact, I'll put it over here, our. Y'all tell me what this, how you say it in Hebrew. I'll put it over here. I'll put it over in PALEO. Make it a little easier for you. Tell me what this word means. All right. See if I can remember myself. Oh yeah, okay. There we go. Shh. I wrote it down here. Now tell me, how do you pronounce that word? How do you pronounce our in Hebrew? That's really what I'm saying. How do you pronounce our in Hebrew? Because I'm saying the oppressor. Okay? You can use our as a preposition. Okay? You can say our oppressor, but the Most High has put it down, and the prophets have said, Proverbs 3:31, and be not the oppressor. I just want to see if you guys know, if I said our, what would that be? Our oppressor, okay? The oppressor. What does that mean in Hebrew? There it is right there. How do you say it? Anybody know? I think somebody wrote that down, sir. Let's see. I'll write it down. Let's see what that is. Let's see. Yeah, Tatiana, that's good, sis. She's got it. Give that sister a hand. Give that sister a hand, guys. Clap it up. She's got it. Only thing she got a little different, Tatiana, is you don't. It's nawa. That's right. But you take the H off of there. You don't need that. Okay? You don't need the H. So it's nawa. So you say like this. Like that. One sound, nawa. So you have a dependent connector, sis. If you understand that, just say con, sir, whatever. How you want to do that way. But it's nawa. You don't need the, they cut it down, they purposely cut the H off of there because you don't want to say nawaha. Nawaha. You want to say nawa. When you hear distinct wa, nawa, you don't need an H on the end of it. Nawaha. You don't need that because if you said that and you hear it, I'll pronounce the word different. Instead of nawa, it's nawaha. Nawaha. Or nawaha. So you just want to say nawa. And I understand that. I mean, that makes sense. I understand that you got it right, actually. I mean, you've been studying. That's good. That's very good, sis. Very good, Tatiana, very good. You've been studying. That tells me something. That tells me that your study is paying off here in LASHAWAN QADASH. So nawa, actually, our, right here, that means nawa in Hebrew. and it looks like this. And of course, in Assyrian, it'll look like this. Assyrian, we'll write that in blue. Assyrian, that same word, don't have any connectors. Let's see what it looks like in Assyrian. Na. Did I say? Yeah. Na. Na looks like this. It looks like this. There's an N. Okay? All right? There's the N. That makes sense? Okay? And then the Wa looks like this. That's what that word looks like in Assyrian. Same word. It means Nawa. When you see Nawa, write in your notes, forever you'll know now. That's good to make small little, minor little glitches. Like put the H on there so you'll never forget it. Now, see, it's going to be in your vocabulary. Nawa means hour. Of course, the word is actually the. Envy not the oppressor. And that word is ha. It's a preposition before oppressor, okay? The oppressor. That's oppressor is a noun. That's why that's a preposition. It's giving, it's telling you what oppressor. The oppressor. Now, of course, you can say, I can create a possessive adjective to that. But in this case, we're going to say ha nagash. Okay? But I can actually I can look it up. I can tell you what that is, but for right now, we're going to use ha nagash. Kwana'a, la'a, ha nagash. Okay? That's what that means in Hebrew. All right? Envy not the oppressor. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's get on to Nagash. Never did get to that, did I? Okay. So let's get on to, got off on this Nawa. Let's get on to Nagash. What that look like. Okay. Nagash. It means oppressor, so we're going to say this. Na, like this. Ga, like that. Yeah. Man, I tell you. Like this. Like that. That's an Assyrian. I told you last week I'd go over some Assyrian to show you the bastardized of the language that we use in oppression. We had to use this because they adapted. They wouldn't let us say, they wouldn't let us speak our language. Abagada, hawazaka. They had to go and say it. I'll write it anyway. Ain't no telling how we said it. I don't know. But in other words, it's nagash. But that's important. If you want to break something down, you got to use the paleo. That's the point. So that's the Assyrian. Let's go and let's take that same word. Let's go na, ga, sh. Just like that. Okay? Now, here's important. Here's a good understanding to the sisters and brothers. Good understanding. This is what you need to understand. You don't see an A here. Y'all be careful over there now, guys. Y'all be careful. Be careful, okay? Let's put the, first of all, look. Let's put the, Lots about that. What am I trying to do here? Nah, gosh. Gee, there we go. Let's put the connectors on here. So we say nah, okay, and we say God. Gosh, just like that. So this N sound has to have an independent of its own. Nah. Right there. The Ga, which is that Ga, or this, or that God. Now this right here, let you know, this is the Syrian right here. Okay? This is the Paleo right here. That's the pure language. Because it uses connectors, it allows you to pronounce and enunciate things properly. Okay? Doesn't have any connectors over here. This one does. Well, that's not an in connector, so you can use this shot here. Okay? So, Paleo. Okay. Nagash. You notice shop. In this particular case. There are different cases. Shop. The word shop. you know, looks like this. But you, in this case, it's dropped right here. Nagash. So if I said Nagasha, then that would be a whole nother word. Whole nother word. So when you hear Nagash, you don't hear it, so you drop the A. Once you drop the A, then you simply connect these together, the Ga and Sha, and you have Nagash. Hope you caught on to that. That's very important. Some people do, some people don't. Okay? Let's see. I got a word here. I got a word here that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, good. Let me show you this word here. A lot of people mess this one up too. Yeah. Okay, let me kind of erase a little bit off of here. Hope you guys have written that down. I'll give you a few more seconds to write that down before I erase something, because I want to illustrate something else. Okay. In the Hebrew, show you what people are misunderstanding, just like that shalom. Mess should be shalom. I showed you why, because they were using a wa. Let me show you here something else. Let's see here. Give you guys a chance to write that down a little bit so you'll understand. Just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Give you guys a chance to write that down. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's erase this right here. There's another word that people kind of mess up a little bit or misdirect. Here's one. In the Hebrew, because we're still talking about envy not depressing, Proverbs 31. That's how you write it. You shouldn't want anything, envy, disconnect for some possession that he wants anyway. You shouldn't want anything he wants anyway. You know. Most High will supply for us. He feeds the birds. He'll feed us. Okay. Let's see. Here's a word. When people say sa, la, ya. Oops. Salah, ya. Okay? So like, forgive me or excuse me, or, you know. In other words, just a little courtesy, you know, forgive me or excuse, like this. Some people will say, sha, la, shalak, shalakia, salak, ya, which is wrong. I try to spell it here, but it's not sha. It's the main thing I'm trying to get you to see. That's actually a whole nother word when you say shalak. I think it means to be or to give or to do or something like that. I have to look it up. I can't remember. But that word, that is not the same as the word salakia. Salakia. You will say sa, like this. So let's spell. That's why it's important to know how to spell these words. Salakia. So let's say sa. That's the character you want to use, not sha. When you're saying excuse me, you don't want to use. Matter of fact, let's do it in a different color so people can understand right here. You don't want to say sha right here, just like that. You don't want to say sha. When you want to say excuse me, the word is salak ya. Okay. And this is the most important character is sa. This sa here. Abagada hawazaka tayakala manasa. Right there. Okay? That's sa. Okay? This is paleo, of course. If you want to, I don't want to confuse you with this series. I just want the main thing I want you to understand that this right here, sa. It's not sha. Okay? It's not sha. That's the main thing. It's not the sha. You don't want to say that. That's a whole nother word. Like I said, it means I think it means to, when you're asking people to win or from. I think that's what it means, yeah. But it definitely doesn't mean to forgive or excuse. You want to say salakia, like forgive me. You want to say salakia, not shalak. You want to say shah. That's why we go through all of the characters in the LASHAWAN QADASH, so you'll learn how to enunciate things. So to finish that word out, you want to say shah, then you want to use the la, and then you want to say the ka sound right here, right there, because we're going to join that together. Then you want to say, what else did I say? Salakya. Is that right? What I'm going to say? Yeah, right. That's right. Okay, good. We'll do that. Okay. Yeah. Salakya. Okay, there you go. We want to join this together. So we want to say lak, and then we want to say ya. Salakya. Like that. Not sha. I'm not going to even try to write that word down, because I know that this word right here means, I think salak is the word that's closely related to when you're trying to say salakya, but salak. But shalak is a whole other word. And it may be shalak. I can't remember now. I think this much of the word is actually another word. Okay? But the word is pronounced salakya. Just like that. In this case, you want to take, if you notice the CH, that word, this character here is CHAA. You drop both of the A's. That's why you join this together. We're disconnected. We don't need it. Okay? Thus it's been joined together. Lock. You want to say one sound. So let's make it one sound. Lock. Don't need this A's in there. Because this time that was a little different. You'll say sa, lock, ya. But it's salak, ya. It tells you to come off that ka. Don't make it sound out long, because if you did, then it would have to give its own sound. So you join it together with salakya, and that's what that sounds like. Okay? That's just a sidebar here. It's another words, vocabulary, that's why we're here. Trying to explain the difference between the Paleo and the Assyrian. That is so important to understand what words are. It's important to understand how you understand the Hebrew simply by writing, knowing how to write it. Okay, that's important. That's very important. So when you write words, when new students get in here and they see that, oh, I can join words together in Hebrew, you can. You can actually take all these characters. You can make words, but just be careful to know that some of them, most of them already exist anyway. So let's use the ones we got. Salakya means forgive me, not shall. So you shouldn't have anybody, no officer, no trooper, no grandmother, no child going around saying shalakya when they want to say forgive me. It's salakya. Okay? So we'll erase that off the board. All right. Now, what do we not want to, why, let's see how much time we got left. Yeah, we got a little bit of time here. What do we not want to envy of the oppressor? When we say, kwa na'a, la'a, ha, nagash. We don't need our up here, of course, anymore. What do we want We don't want to envy his what? His religions. That's one of them. Religions, yeah. Spelling sometimes gets atrocious there. Religions, you'll find that in Galatians. Galatians 1 and 13. 1 and 13. Okay, what else? In the audience, let's find out what else don't you want his what? We always use his in the masculine right here when we talk about now. I won't say her sometimes. We won't say her whoredoms, we can, but we always say when we're talking in a masculine form. So lock it for a second here. His possessions or his power. Tatiana President, we don't want to envy his culture. That's exactly right. There you go, sis. Want to envy his culture. Exactly right. Okay, his culture, his foods, his culture, his religions. She said his foods. She said his cultures. That's right, his culture. We don't want to do anything he does. We don't use his cultures. His foods. We definitely don't want to do this. His women. That's against, all these against the laws right here. You definitely don't do this. So you get the confusion of face from. Going around looking at trying to attach yourself on to his women. Our brothers out here know better than that, and our women know better than to go after their men. You don't do the same thing. You let the man have reproduce his seed within our own 12 tribes of Israel. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. If you are black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, these are the laws, statutes, and commandments you should be following. His religions, you don't want to go around with the religions of wood and stone. See. Yeah, we don't want to do that one. We definitely don't want to do that one. Okay. Right. She said also, Adrian said the holidays. Very good, Adrian. We're supposed to use what? If we don't use we don't have to use the holidays, we have to use our what? Let's pay attention to that word right there. We don't want to use his holidays either. Here in LASHAWAN QADASH, we teach that, his religions, his cultures, that's a good one. His foods, the pork, the shrimp, crab, lobster, his whores, his women. We don't want to do that. We do not envy. We do not nagash. We don't do that. We don't, his women, his foods, his culture. These are good ones. Holidays, that's right. So, that's because we have holy days. QADASH Yawam. That's how you would say it. Holy days. Okay? When you want to say holy days, we use the word QADASH. QADASH. Right here. Yawam. Okay? QADASH Yawam. That means holy days. Yawam Yam. We want to make it plural. So we put a yam on the end there. QADASH, so Adrian, and QADASH, fix some water here. Tatiana and the other brothers and sisters here, those are good ones right there. The cultures, his food, his religions, and his holy days. Because we have, and his holidays. We use holy days. That's what this is. We have the word QADASH, Yawanyam, holy days. That's where they get the word. See, it's going all the way back to this Shalom. So we're going to say, they use a little word like this I right here. It's just one little I. I'll make it look like I right there. And one little I. Hold it, take the Y out. We have a Y, Yah. So we say QADASH Yawam. Yawamyam. That means holy days. Literally translated. We don't have to use holy. We don't slap for a second. We don't have to use the word holy days. We have our own. I'm sorry. We don't have to use their holy days. And name some of their holy days, guys. Y'all come out and tell me what some of their holy days. We use QADASH, young. So what are some of their holidays that they use? They like to try to make us go out there and stew. Pagan holidays. That's right. We don't want to envy his money. That's right. She said want to envy his money. His money. We work for them. We don't want to envy it because that's what this is saying. That's what this is saying. Right here. Okay? That's what this is saying. Disconnects someone from the possessions, you know? Envy. Don't do that. Don't envy nothing you have. You know, you take your prayers to the Most High. He'll give you the money you need. He'll give you the understanding. Let's see what we have in the chat right here. Let's see what we have. Glad you guys are active tonight. Yeah, we have birthdays, National Pillow Fighting, Donut Day, Valentine's Day. Oh my goodness. Birthdays, National Pillow Fight Days, Valentine's Day. Oh my God, these women just go crazy. And thank you ladies for saying that. Thank you. Listen, we have Purim, you know, we have our own holy days. It's coming up. We have Hanukkah, of course, you know, that's been past December. And of course we have the Passover. We have our holy days. We have our feast days. We don't have to envy their Valentine's Day, what else? Somebody said, National Donut Day. Yes, go ahead, sis. Halloween. Get that sis hand. All right. Halloween. Little princess over here said Halloween. You know, and those are the days that the Most High didn't give us. You know, these evilness, Independence Day, Christmas, Easter, we got them all over the place. All right? Birthdays, National Pillow Fight Day, National Donut Day, Valentine's Day, and all y'all are right about it. That's his culture. That's his understanding of how to live it up. All right, let them go live it up. That's why the Most High say, envy not the oppressor, and separate. And let's see. That word separate in Hebrew, to separate, you know, to set apart means QADASH. And of course, separate, separate. There we go, right there. That word is actually badal. Okay? Badal. Okay? Got a lot of these things, nagash. And then separate yourself from them. Separate yourself from their 3:31. There you go, right there. Separate yourself from them so you won't have to. Now, if you want to put a possessive adjective on there, we're going to say you. So we say you separate. But the way to say that, you want to say you, the way to say you is ka. When you want to use it as a possessive adjective. But we're going to take the time to go over this, the prepositions and possessive adjectives in the different tenses, maybe next week, you know, on a lesson. I don't know. We'll get into a lot of things. But when it says separate, the word is badal, right here. Separate yourself from this oppressor. You know, or you'll find yourself roasting pig snouts, pig butts, and pig feet. Most High says stay away from his foods. You know, you got no business in the pork, shrimp, crab, and lobsters, and the snails and tails and puppy dog tails of the world. You ain't got no business doing that. Most High say, make yourself holy, set yourself apart, and separate, badal ka, you or your separation, or you separate, badal ka. And like I said, we'll get into this is possessive adjective right here. It shows possession of this. Badal. And of course, you know, that's how we say it. Badal ka. I'll let you understand something. That the Most High never intended for us to be part of his religion. Never intended for us to eat his filthy foods. Never intended for us to spread our seed men or amongst their women. Never intended, God help us, for our women to sit down and lay down and spread your legs up to a filthy Esau or Moab or Elam, those are Indians, or Chinese, or Edomites, or Idumea, those are the Esau's of the world. Those are the oppressors. We ain't got no business spreading, those women ain't got no business spreading your legs to them. And our men ain't got no business throwing no seed to them either. Okay? Let's keep things and be in order. Most High says, envy not the oppressor. Okay? Because what would he do? He'll bring you down. You know? These are all good understandings of how not to, the days that you don't want to, the cultures, the things that you don't want to envy. There you go. Let's look here. Let's find one more text here, a couple more texts here before we actually terminate the class here. But let's go. Let's find out. Let's see what did it say? What did I say here? Lock it up for a second. Let's go to, let me see what I had here. I can't remember what that was. Let's find out. Let's find out right here. How much the persecuted church of God had wasted it. That ain't the one I wanted. That's not the one I wanted. Lock it in. Didn't mean that. Lock section. Salakia. You notice I'm not saying Shellock. Genesis 24:37. Let's see what that said. We talk about his women here. We want to make sure we don't do that either. Let's just look up a text here. 24:37. You can write these down, guys. Let's see. 24:37. Let's see what it says right here. It says this. There. And my master made me swear, saying, thou shalt not take a wife to my sons and daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. Now the Canaanites were the Africans, okay? You don't take, because we dwelt there in Egypt in bondage, you know, or even near Canaan, where the Most High had to take all of these lands for us. He said this in Genesis. And if he said that in Canaan, for Canaan too, you don't mean that because you're in captivity, you don't take a wife of those people. It says, and my master made me swear, saying, thou shalt not take a wife to my sons and daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. And then let's read verse 38. Here's what you should be doing. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, unto my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. That's what the Most High is trying to tell you to do. You know, he wants you to make sure you get a proper wife. Somebody that you can plant your seed in, and somebody that the sisters can take their seed and take our people's seed, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and pass it on. Okay, that's the whole key. That's the whole reason for that, to keep us in existence. I mean, what we look like, passing on their religions, passing on their progenitors, and their women. The Bible says, take your own 24:37, I believe it was. Genesis 24:37. Okay, 24:37. That's what you should be doing. Don't envy his money, like one of the sisters says. Don't get into his cultures. You darn sure don't get into his holy days, his women, his religious food, go round and round all the time, trying to keep away from him. That's why we say separate from him. Adalka. Envy not the oppressor. Quana'a, la'a, ha, nagash. That's what you do not want to do. If you don't envy him, the Most High wants you to grow your beard. Most of the women to dress clean, no whores, you know. Don't sell yourself out. Don't be cheap. Definitely don't go to some other nation and try to make a baby with them. That's crazy. You know, all these beautiful men in ISUPK, beautiful women in ISUPK, and the men in the ISUPK, all these handsome men, and you try to tell me that we can't have, we got a beautiful situation going on here, okay? And how we got all of the healthy, strong men, with all the beautiful women here. How can you not enjoy one of them? Why is it hard to separate? Because you want to be like the world. You want to be like those other empires. You want to be like Babylon. You want to be like Persia. You want to join the Elamites, the Moabites, Rome. You want to be like them. You want to be like actually Hollywood. That's what you want. Look at our basketball players going after the oppressors' women. They go after the Edomites all the time. And they're their women. Like our women ain't beautiful enough. What's wrong with these people out here? What's wrong with our blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians wanting to take on the other nations with their women? And then go around eating their food. They condition you with so many things. That's why the Most High put Proverbs 31 in the Bible and said, man, you ain't got no business going after his religion, going to this church, beating tambourines, taking your mind off it, throwing the organ in there. You know, then you see, if you follow them, you'll think that it's okay to drag a little child in the snow and spray in their eyes. That's how sick these people are. If you keep joining, I want to be like them, have the latest purse, latest shoes, and hair, wear your hair the way the Most High meant for you to wear. Baba Bashar, that's what I'm trying to say to you. But I'm trying to say, we got a certain texture of hair, leave it alone. You don't need no locks. Braid your hair. Braid your hair like this. Just braid it. But whatever you got to do to it, make it look nice and beautiful. Want to wear afro? What they call afro. Watch out, guys. If you want to wear your hair natural, that's what I meant. Natural, okay? Then that's fine. Just whatever you do, don't envy not the oppressor, okay? Don't do that, because he'll get you to follow him every single time. And if you follow him every single time, the next thing you know, we're almost done with class here, but the next thing you know, you'll be envy his cultures, his religions, his ways, his QADASH Yawamyam, that means his holy days. You'll begin to envy his money, his women, his foods, and that's what we do not want. But I believe we got classes sort of crept up on us, and it's time to to run out. We'll read some announcements here. Hope you guys clap it up in class. Hope you guys enjoyed class. Very good. Okay, we'll read the ISUPK announcements here. Right here. ISUPK security announcements. We, or the ISUPK, start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The roof for the brothers and sisters. When a brother and sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need a transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, that word 6 months would be Shasha Yawan. Shasha Kamash, I'm sorry. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After 6 months, the period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8 and 10, means 10th. In the Hebrew, in the Maashra, we'll get into Numbers. We have done that in the past. Yes, let's clap it up in class. That's right. If you enjoyed, clap it up online right there. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8 and 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Maashra. 10% of every penny or any increase the Most High gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. The priest fund, free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever the amount you would like. Of holy convocations, of course, this is what we want to say. We have a holy day. It's called Purim. The 14th day, the 15th day of the 12th month. Thursday, February 25th. Friday, February 26th, 2021. Esther 9, 20, and 31. Of course, we have the Passover coming up, which is coming up here real shortly here. And it'll be in Houston, Texas. Get with your camp leader. Make sure you get with the camp leader and find out the accommodations necessary. But it is the 14th day, first month. Thursday will be April 24th, 22nd, I believe. The 2021 at sundown, Exodus 12, 1 through 51, Leviticus 23, 4, 5, and 1, 1 Corinthians 5, 7, and 8, and 2 Corinthians 30 and 17. Hope you guys enjoy class. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, a thumb to all my brothers. Yahweh Shamar, Ayel Athah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to all of my sisters. For that we say, Shalom.